KT7 up here. This Melnia showcase was made back in September. I have updated my final thoughts on her since then, and everything in this video still stands. With the addition of Halloween Lucio, I thought I would include a evade setup for her. The build I have here, she has 110 evade, 474 luck, and 110 agility. She can evade somewhat and can catch some people off guard. With the Halloween Monster VC as main and Rise of the Immortal as sub, her luck will likely be in the 520 to 530 range at 0 times reincarnations. She will have a hard time evading anyone that are building for accuracy. Now let's get back to the showcase. Melnia can inflict a few nasty status effects. Her Select 2 attack can inflict sleep, and her LB can inflict poison. KT7 up here. Today, I will review and showcase 140 Melnia, a new 100 cost non-limited Earth unit. Melnia's main job equips gun with Ranger and Trick Lancer as sub-jobs. They gave her a few additional effects upon crit hits from a couple of new equipments, and her LB has a Man-Eater down debuff. She brings a different playstyle to the Earth element and a very important piece on a gunner team. These are the items we will go over today. Let's get started. Let's start off with her TMR. It is an accessory, has 183 HP, 35 attack, 6 accuracy, 4 agility, and 8 crit. The ability is a self-buff, grants the user missile attack up 40 and reaction block rate 50 for 3 turns. The stats on this TMR is very nice, a slightly weaker version of Ice Owlia's TMR. Her HP and attack are the highest amount missile units. Her dex is a bit low compared to other missile units, and her agility is average. Has 3 move and 1 jump, does have a support ability to lower her movement by 1. I have her at 97 faith to maximize the chance to land status ailments. Her weapon type resistances are 10 to slash, 20 to strike, 10 to missile, and 5 to magic. She is weak to pierce at -10. Ailment resistances are 50 to blind, 10 to sleep, and 50 to confusion. She is a backline unit. I would not worry too much about her ailment resistance. She can equip guns, hats, and some cloth. Moving on to her mastery. Typical Earth support, plus 20% attack up and reaction block rate of 20 for herself. At 140, she gets 15 single target resistance, 15 accuracy, and her job 25 attack gets the dispel effect. With her 20 innate resistance to strike plus the 15 single target resistance, it is not easy for Owlia to take her out. Continuing to her new gun. The general ability is missile attack up 15, and for Melnia, she gets initial AP 20, and the ability to inflict healing power down 20 upon critical hits. The crit type is the one I would recommend. Besides the gun, there was a raid event for the sniper's scope accessory. The abilities are crit damage up 15, and lower target's AP by 10 on crits. Since this is a raid, we can only get 1+5, be sure to go for the crit type. With the scope and one of her sub-ability, we can pull some shenanigans to cripple your opponent's physical damage dealers. Next, let's go over her main job support abilities. Number 1 is defense penetration up 40, AP consumption down 25 and -1 move. Support number 2 is missile penetration 40 and range +2. These are the two that I would recommend. She have access to another 40 defense penetration. You can sub out support 1 should you want 3 move for her. Her reaction ability is physical reflex, 15% chance to evade all physical attack, and crit rate up 20 for 3 turns. Next up, her LB. It is a single target attack with a range height of 2. It does require direct line of sight. First break physical damage barrier, then deals large damage. Also has a 67% chance to inflict poison for 3 turns, and Man-Eater down 40 for the target when poison is active. Poison is devastating against tanks, plus it has Man-Eater down. This is a great LB. Moving over to her main job buffing abilities. The first one is her highest priority buff. It is a diamond shape AoE around self. Grants the party protect for 4 turns. And for herself only, defense penetration up 20, AP regen small, and grants the Dispel Re-Raise effect upon hit for 3 turns. Next, her second priority buff. For herself only, attack up 40%, agility up 25%, crit rate up 25 and range +1 for 3 turns. These 2 buffs are very important to her kit, both are very good. Now her attacks. I have put a note at the upper right hand corner if the attack requires direct line of sight. Also, I will not go over the range of each attack, as they all have a max range of 8 with her support ability 2 equipped, without any active buff. This is her select 2 targets attack. 2 hits, medium damage, and 25% chance to inflict sleep. I love and hate this ability. Units will take more damage and won't be able to evade if they are asleep. Hate it when it lands on me even with a sleep resistance Truststone. Her second attack is a lobbing shot. Lower target's healing power by 70% and damage large. The healing power down stacks with her gun. If this is a crit hit, the healing power is lowered by 90%. Next up, her low AP attack. Single target, damage small, and the modifier will increase by 40% if the target has AP regen, haste, or sleep active. Haste and AP regen are very common. It is nice to be able to finish off an enemy with a lower AP skill. Now her job level 25 attack. This is the only AoE attack in her main kit. Cross shape AoE, first dispel all buffs then deals medium damage. The damage modifier increases if she is targeting more units. That's all for her main kit. Now her sub abilities. The first one is a single target attack. Nullifies reaction ability for 3 turns, deals medium damage and has the piercing effect. The second ability is a TP skill, 25% chance to inflict Berserk. This is not her best sub job. The Berserk effect could be useful if she has 0% chance hitting her target. But she has a sure hit in her other sub job. Let's move over to her Ranger sub. The support abilities are Ranger Lore, giving her range +1 and accuracy of 25. If you equip both of her range increase support, she can have up to 10 range with her active buff. But this is mostly for manual play. The other support ability is Focus. Lower casting time by 150 and missile attack up 15. Reaction ability from Ranger is Reflex. The 2 notable abilities are Shadow Bind and Sharpshoot. Shadow Bind can inflict Immobilize, which is very nasty against strike units. Sharpshoot is a 100% hit attack. She also has Poison Arrow from Ranger. Ranger is the sub job I recommend. But Trick Lancer has some good stuff to offer too. From Trick Lancer, she gets Trick Lancer Lore, crit rate up 25 and defense penetration 40. You can equip this in lieu of her move -1 support if you need 3 move. You won't lose out on any defense penetration. This has 25 crit rate too, which works very well with her equipments. The other support ability is Unwavering Javeliner, accuracy 25 and increase the range of Binding Javelin. Reaction ability from Trick Lancer is Counter Trick, 30% chance to counter with piercing damage. The range is very short, just use her main job's Reflex. The 2 notable abilities are AP Break Lance and Binding Javelin. With Roy's TMR ability and the Sniper's Scope, AP Break Lance will take away 50 AP on crit hits. It is not easy to pull off, as the range is only 3. I don't recommend it, it puts her in danger, but it's fun. Binding Javelin can lower healing power and inflict Immobilize. Trick Lancer is actually not a bad choice, it gives her pierce damage. Binding Javelin is just as annoying as Shadow Bind. Overall, Trick Lancer is not a bad choice. Okay, that's all for her kit. Let's look at her Vision card. This is a top tier VC. It is 60 cost, also not limited. Works with Sword Knight, Gun, and Mace. The stats are 352 HP, 45 Dex, and 154 attack. The party abilities are Single Target Resistance 24, Reaction Block Rate of 32, and 15% Agility. The bestowed abilities are Attack up 10% and Acquired AP up 30%. Yep, single target resistance and agility in 1vc. These 2-in-1 vision cards enable the team to have a super offensive card on the third main slot. This is also one of the reasons why strike teams are super strong. They can have a main card just for offense. It works with the Sword Knight group, that means Bradley, Wingstern, Lightning, and Squall. I highly recommend everyone to pick this up, even if you are not going for Melnia. It will serve you well for a long time. Now her equipment and Espers. For her weapon, the new gun gives her healing power down on crit hits. The Peacemaker +6 can give her 20 defense penetration and 40 reaction block rate. Irvine's gun can give her lower targets attack on crit hits. I personally like her new gun the most. But if you don't care for healing power down, or want to go for max damage, go with Peacemaker. Her second slot, I like the Diamond Coat and the Sniper's Scope. Against units like Wanjinglacia, the Scope is better, because it takes away AP. The Diamond Coat has better overall damage. On her TMR slot, give her Agility. You can give her Haste, but you likely will need to turn off her range +1 self buff. Roy's TMR will requires you to turn off her second buff as well. Her Espers, I like the Eleficaras the most. It has 19 Agility and 25 Lightning Killer. My second choice is Dark Bahamut for max damage. My third choice is Dark Odin for the increased chance of poison. Regular Odin would be good for her too. Moving over to her Truststones. On the left, I like the Vital set. Luck set is also a good choice. The abilities I have are listed here. On the right hand side, I like Agility the most. Attack set and Crit set are both good options. The abilities listed here are for the Diamond Coat. Attack up and Earth attack up. Reaction block rate up and defense penetration up. Crit rate up and crit damage up. If you are going with the Sniper's Scope, take out crit damage and reaction block rate for missile penetration and dex up. Her AP will not be a big concern even if you don't have it on her Truststone. Her gun has initial AP 20, her main buff has AP regen, and her support ability 1 has AP consumption down. Next up, sample teams. The first team I have will be the most popular Melnia team with Bradley and Dialdo. I have her on Ranger sub, both her main job support abilities and main job reaction. Eleficaras as her Esper. The vision card I have on Melnia are Eleficaras for 20 single target resistance, 8% agility, and 35 pierce attack up for the group. 10 man-eater and 5% max HP from bestowed. Dark Siren as a sub for another 8% agility, 7 more man-eater and 8 strike resistance. On Bradley, he has the FF15 card for 50% attack, 18% dex, and 20 magic resistance. Prince Mott card has a sub for 18 earth attack up, 7 accuracy, and 18 slash penetration. On Dialdo, he has the Dark Golem for 20 AoE resistance, 8 defense, and acquired AP up 38% for the group. And Dream of Heroism as a sub for 6 more AoE resistance and 11% more HP. This VC setup can maximize the DPS damage while losing very little agility. Melnia has 50 defense penetration at all times, and can go up to 70 for 3 turns with her active buff. She has the Diamond Coat for more missile penetration and dex. Her missile penetration is at 55. Single target resistance is at 35, has 28% strike resistance plus 35 lightning resist. AoE resistance is at 29, and her max range is 9. This team here is very strong, the classic frontline attacker, a tank, and a backline missile unit. You should have little to no issue going up against Wanjinglacia. If you were to switch up Dark Siren to the main slot, the setup would be like this. The team's strike resistance gone up by 8, and Melnia gained another 4 agility. But she lose out on lots of attack and dex, which will lower her damage. From my experience, the previous team is better, especially the 10 more magic attack resistance will pay off. Next are more Earth teams. The one on the left is the Earth Gunner team. This is the most powerful Melnia setup. Melnia has the Gangji glove for maximum damage. Rugia has the Sniper's Scope for the lower AP effect. Both gunners have haste TMR equipped since their agility are a bit low. Melnia has the Irvine VC, which also works with Dialdo. The party abilities are acquired AP up 60%, crit rate up 20%, and attack up 50%. The bestowed abilities are missile penetration up 10 and single target resistance up 10. This is a great vision card for missile units. Pursuer is on her as a sub for 12 magic resistance, 10 crit rate and 18 missile attack up. This is the only card that does not support Dialdo. On Rugia, he has the Eleficaras as main and Dark Siren as sub. Dialdo is carrying the Dark Golem and FF15 card. This team will work well on a longer map or maps with higher elevation starting point. The team on the right is to utilize the new VC. The highlight of this team is Queen Masheri. She has 79 single target resistance when her HP is above 60%. This will come with her MA too. Melnia's VC has 24 single target resistance and 15% agility, so good. This team will do well against most strike teams. The next team I have prepared is the semi-gunner team with Raph and OG Aulaya. Melnia has her own VC as main and the Pursuer as a sub. Raph has the Ease to Horn card for 20 AoE resistance, it supports all 3 units here. And Black Rose for 8% agility. Aulaya has the Irvine card as main for more damage, and the Beyond the Flames for 15 physical man-eater, 13 crit rate, and 10 missile resistance. The 2 cards on Aulaya do not support Raph. This Gunner plus Raph setup has been gaining popularity lately, it is pretty good. Next, let's look at weapon type VC synergies, and the impact of FF8. Gunners and mace users share all the needed party abilities. I believe the team is ready. For Sword Knight, they have agility and single target resistance but not AoE resistance. They still have a very long way to go in my opinion. Lastly, the FF8 impact. This collaboration bought us a gunner, a free earth unit, and a very offensive gunner vision card. If you already have Irvine and his VC, put them together with Melnia, you can form a very strong gunner team. Now my final thoughts on Melnia. Melnia is a status ailment machine. Poison, sleep and immobilize are all within her arsenal. Earth as an element is already so dominating, she does not improve the element per se. But with her powerful single target attacks, she brings a different angle to the team. You will no longer struggle against units with super high AoE resistance. She will shine on certain maps for sure. She and Masheri are both sub-attackers for the element, they are good for different matchups. If you are missing a third member for your Earth team, she will be a good choice. Melnia is not a limited unit, and you are likely to get her sooner or later. Her VC, however, is a must-get in my opinion. Single target resistance 24 and 15% agility on one card is just too good. Be sure to give it a strong consideration. Now let's see some sample matches. The first match of the day is the all-purpose Earth team going up against Mono Water. Melnia's first action. AoE buff, for turns protect for the group. Defense penetration up 20, AP regen and dispel re-raise upon hit for 3 turns. I turned on Bradley's group buff so he won't run up too soon. He might miss out on haste, but that's fine. Second action, self-buff. Increase attack 40%, agility 25%, crit rate up 25, and range +1 for 3 turns. Melnia's attack. Lower healing power 70% and large damage. Shadowbind from Melnia, going after Miranda. That's her select 2 attack. 2 hits, medium damage and 25% chance to sleep. The sleep landed on both targets. Select 2 attack one more time, took out Glaci. But sleep did not land on Perrine this time. Next up is the Gunner plus Raph team, going up against Mono Ice with Grifford. Melnia's group buff, giving Alaya and herself protect for 4 turns. Defense penetration up, AP regen, and dispel re-raise upon hit for 3 turns. That's Melnia's healing power down attack on Reagan. That was close. It was my bad. Shouldn't have put the missile girls on the middle of the map. Melnia's LB. Breaks physical barrier, damage large, 67% chance to poison, and man-eater down 40 when poison is active. I have one more match, but I won't be making comments. That's all I have for today. Thank you for watching. Have a good one.